ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, and welcome to a traditional Zendikar Rising Best of 3 draft. Chat, say hello to YouTube. This pack has a few cards that I'm interested in. Maddening Cacophony isn't one of them, although you can certainly build a meme deck with it if you want to. I found that you don't really need that to enable the mill deck for rogues, and I don't really want to try to make it work. The cards I'm thinking about here are Deadly Alliance Acquisitions Expert and the Skyclave Geopede. I think the Geopede really does hit for a lot of damage, and in the right deck can be very powerful. I've come to appreciate the value of just jamming a bunch of 2-drops and nabbing a card from your opponent's hand. The rogue tag can be pretty good. I think I'm kind of interested in starting with the Alliance. It leads to me going in a lot of different directions depending on what we get past. But I wouldn't be opposed to picking the Expert or the Geopede here. I think they're both very good cards. Omnath is an interesting one. Banevale, I've come around a lot on. Windrobber, I've been playing lately when I'm in a rogue deck. I tend not to try to take the... this isn't usually what puts me in the rogue deck, but once I'm in it, I'm very interested in it. We've done a meme Omnath draft on stream before, and I managed to get a 2-1 with it, but we're looking to kind of try to draft correctly here, especially for the YouTube draft. So I think it's just take the Royal Mage. I think it's the most powerful individual card here. Other cards of note are the Core Celebrant and the Field Research. I've been pretty happy with up to 3 of these in a deck, and think I'd even play 4. Now it's a little bit of a time to decide where we'd like to go, because there's cards here from the Vine Gecko to the Geezer Mage to even the Rabid Bite I think are quite good. I've also been pretty happy with a Spikefield Hazard. But I think I like the Rabid Bite a little more, and then we'll see what direction we can go. We could get into Blue-Green Kicker, and we could also get into my beloved Golgari if it's actually open. The Vine Gecko is quite good, but the Vine Gecko is kind of demanding that you have kicker cards in the deck. So you're seeing me pass a lot of very conditional cards for a lot of cards that are good on their own. Generally speaking, I want to get the cards that are good on their own first, and then once we figure out what's actually available, which we should get a little inkling of that in the next pick, then I can start focusing on any of those synergy cards that are still left. But like Tazim Royal Mage is good in any blue deck, Deadly Alliance is good in any black deck, Rabid Bite is good in every green deck. The floor is it's a 2/2 for 2. That's the literal floor. Right, and here we see another Royal Mage. That kind of puts me in I might like to be doing blue things, because it's the most powerful card in this pack by a lot. In my experience so far, Canyon Jerboa has dramatically underperformed. In every deck I've played it in, I would have rather had the 3/2 that makes something indestructible for a turn. And I think every time my opponent has played it against me, it's only been good if I was already getting run over. Like, it can slam the door shut on a game that you're already winning, but it doesn't block well and isn't really forcing through enough damage. Maybe it could be better with combat tricks, but with these 2 Royal Mages, I think I'm just interested in getting into blue something. And given that that's the case, I kind of want to take blue cards here and see where we go. The Seafloor Stalker I'm pretty happy to have as a finisher for any deck. Now, I like the Gloom Hunter a lot if I'm black, and I like the Bright Blade a lot, or Blight Braid, I can't say it. I like the 1/1 Death Touch a lot when I'm green. Vastwood Fortifications is also pretty nice. It's like half of a Subtle Strike on a land. That's pretty cool. But I'm pretty sure we're blue now, so I'm just going to grab blue cards, and then we'll pair it with whatever we happen to get into. Good morning, Techno Shaman. I do like the Cleric in some blue decks and Mind Drain in some black decks, but I like the Visionary in all of my decks. This is a late adjacent Celebrant, but I think I'm going to grab this Visionary and see if blue-green is an option for us. Yeah, there's another one. There's also a Relic Golem, so like the Rogues thing could be something to speculate on, but I've done green-blue Wizards a couple of times to good effect. But I think this may be kind of buckling us into blue-green Wizards. None of these cards are particularly good. It's a bit of an indication that white isn't being drafted, but these aren't really cards I want to play. I think I'm going to take the Riptide just to signal blue, and if we happen to get enough kicker cards, we may play it. This is our opening pack. There wasn't really a whole lot there for us to pick from. I'm going to take the Cacophony for gems because I don't think I'd actually play any of the rest of this. If we were to Pro Tour, though, I'm probably going to take the Vampire just in case black suddenly opens up a lot. But I think it would take a bit to get me out of blue-green from here. The Wind Rider, again, isn't wonderful and probably doesn't get played in this deck. But if we have a hard shift into rogues, let's say we open Zarethsan in the next pack and I'm like, screw it, let's go in on that, then I might play it. And I also don't want to signal to my neighbors that blue is still open. Not a lot here. I don't think Nectarpot is much of a signal, so I'm going to take the Highborn Vampire. Again, if we end up in black, we could play that, but it's looking like the green is a little bit better than the black. Here, I think I'm going to take the Lagak, again, just in case I open some, like, I don't know, we open like a Leyline Tyrant. It'd be nice to have another card to play with that. Chilling Trap can be played in the blue-green deck we're building. I'm going to grab that, even though this, again, would go, well, that's a fair argument. If rogues are actually open in the next pack, that's a way better pickup. And I'll find a Chilling Trap if we want one. Here's our next pack. There's no removal. There's no really strong card in any particular colors. I've moved up a lot on Pelaka Predation. I like having one of those in there. Thank you, Richard. It wasn't actually that hard, unless there's like some terrible consequences that I just haven't recognized yet. I feel like it wasn't that bad. My head's cold, but other than that, I feel pretty good. But I think I'm going to take the Wizard here just to stick into blue. So I don't think there's really anything we're giving up here either, and this Wizard's pretty good. Okay, and here's kind of the moment of truth. Like, we had some indications that rogues were open. I could take this and move in on those rogues. Thank you, Andy. And let go of the green. At issue is it's competing with Thieving Skydiver, which has been pretty great for me in most of the decks that I've played. I think it may be time for me to consider just getting in on the rogues. Yeah, we're doing a YouTube draft right now. Good morning, Chris. I can't pass a blue card that's so good on its own to do it. I may still get into rogues after passing the rogue uncommon. Because, like, green is pretty dry now. Green is really dry now. So we're going to take the Zoff consumption and consider moving into black. Blood Priest is pretty good here, too. I usually like one of those in my rogue decks. Another Royal Mage should be nice. I'm going to need to pick up some things to get back with it, but I'm happy to have infinite Royal Mages. We've got one spell in either of the colors. Yeah, the green is just completely dried up. Cabriya Takedown's kind of the best card here. We could have thought about the Linvala, to be fair, which I kind of didn't and dismissed, but that could have been a signal that blue-white was actually the way to go. But I'm thinking we may get enough out of black, because I could play the Wind Robber and the Mind Carver. Yeah, we need to get into rogues. We need to get into rogues. Pretty seriously need to get into rogues. So I think green is just out. And then the best card here is a green card. All right. We're going to figure this out, and it's going to be okay. I've come up on it some too, and I still don't like it. I think I'm going to take the Seer here for party purposes and wizard purposes. God, I still can't tell which way to go. The Broken Wings would be pretty good with the green. Like, I was ready to switch, and then it just didn't quite come together. For playable purposes, I could take another Seafloor Stalker. I think I'm just going to do that. And we're going to have to, like, make up our mind here in a minute. The Subtle Strike is probably enough to do it. But I need to get good rogue cards out of the next pack. Okay, that's certainly reasonable with the amount of wizards we're playing. We're not going to want a Constrictor. I doubt I want a second Vampire, but we can play one. This is not really the card draw I want, but it may be the card draw I need. I hope it's not, though. Maybe we just take a Blight Priest and plan on not playing it, but filling with it if we need to. So I need a couple spells out of this last pack, and we can kind of get there. So I'm really going to be looking to value removal spells over just about anything else. If I'm realistically going to play the Mind Carver, I think I may need to really look at cards that do incidental mill. This is really good at holding the ground. And is probably the pick, although I don't really need more 4s. I guess I'm not really looking to play the Cascade Seer or the Vampire if we can get away with it. But like a Deadly Alliance, another Deadly Alliance, a Vanquish the Weak, some sort of spell would go a long way for us. That's a good spell. I think we can go with that one with the Royal Mages. And I could still swap back into green if I have to. It's not like the Visionaries are bad. Cacophony is playable if we're roguing, but I need a way to recoup the card advantage, so I don't think I'd want to play it without a pretty significant amount of card draw. I could go for a Gloom Hunter. It's giving us a lot of flexibility with our cards, which I like. I don't like the blues kind of hurt again, but I've probably got enough kickers that we could play this even in blue-black. I'm a little concerned about not having enough spells to get back with these Royal Mages. But that said, one of them's probably going to be played out as a 2-drop. I don't quite have enough mill going on currently for us to want to play that. But it's okay, we were green the whole time. Splashing for a Deadly Alliance, maybe? Yeah, I think this is kind of where we're at now. Don't really understand why that's here, but we takes it. Good afternoon, goblins. It's justifiable. I still don't think it's good. This doesn't do anything unless you get all of their cards with it, right? Getting back something with Kicker is pretty valuable. The Blood Beckoning is super powerful if we have this Shoot Swarm. I'm not quite sure how I can fit in the black. I'd like to. Blue-green is obviously where we're supposed to be, but we don't have any solid removal if I'm playing blue-green. This is really tough for me, but I'm going to take this guy. I mean, the actual answer is green-black may have been a little more open. I would like to get this Deadly Alliance in the deck, because right now we're playing a deck with 15 creatures and really no interaction, and that's a little scary. Like, the Survivor's fine, the Colony's fine. It's not that these are bad cards, it's just like I'd like to have enough spells to like, kill things, because I think right now I probably do have to splash the Deadly Alliance. There's just not a lot here. We're going to have to jam spare supplies. I was looking at, like, I was really leaning on the Subtle Strike to do some work for us. I'm actually happy to see this Chilling Grasp. We do not have a Palaka Predation to help. I didn't take it. I think I'm going to have to splash it with like 2 basics. Blight Braid, I still can't say this word. Blight Blade will help. No, we can do some Chaos Drafts later today, though, if we can get enough people that are interested in it. This is a bit of a weird draft. I was not expecting things to go exactly like this, but that late Shoot Swarm kind of Got me there. Yeah, I have no spell lands, which is also interesting, but I'm not passing a shoot swarm. I don't have the capacity to do that. We can actually play the Snarecaster here. It's a rogue to help the Infiltrator. So I think we're just blue-green rogues splashing for some black. Oh, that's perfect. It changed my default lands to the Bob Ross lands. That's exactly what I would have wanted. And I think this mana base is not quite where I want to be. Because I think we need the 8 islands for this to work. These Bob Ross lands are amazing. I really like them. It's not bad, Orcish. It's not bad. The Deadly Alliance is really hurting our mana base, but we don't need a lot of double blue except for the triple blue. We don't really ever need double green unless we're going to play this very late. So I think 863 is pretty reasonable for this, but it's not a beautiful mana base. Yeah, this is enough that I actually want to use all the same basics. I used to watch Bob Ross with my mom when I was a kid. So like a lot of memories. And I think I remember watching him paint this. Like I can remember him doing the reflections. It's just, these are really great. It's not crazy to want to play the Cacophony. However, I think we've built a deck that's looking to kill our opponents with damage and then get some value going. So it's giving us an alternate win condition, but that alternate win condition is enabled at the cost of a card. So I don't think it would be crazy to want to play it, and it would be cool when it worked. However, if you're not going to mill out all of your opponent's cards, milling them functionally doesn't do much. Like this deck, it would be enabling sacrificing the Windrobber, and that's it. I think there would be some justification if we were blue-black and we had a lot of other cards that wanted them to be milled. I guess it technically makes the Low Mage's Domination cheaper, but with the amount of islands that we're able to play here, I don't think it's really going to let us cast it that much earlier. So I don't want to play the Cacophony, but I don't think it would be crazy if you wanted to. I tend not to go ham on alternate win conditions unless it's something like Teferi's Tutelage, because that let you get a card selection anyway when you played it, and then it just enabled itself by sitting there on the table. And something like the Crab, if you have that early, can do a lot of work, or if you're in a rogue deck, can get you to that threshold relatively quickly where you can actually turn on all of your other rogue cards. So like I've had some experience trying to play a mill deck based on one card before, and it wasn't good enough. It doesn't mean it won't work sometimes, just that it's typically not good enough. Let's do our Stream Raiders battle, and then we can get to the gameplay. And I have figured out how to do Stream Raiders battle, like how to pause with OBS, but I suspect the YouTube viewers still want to see who wins the battle. All of us defenders kind of chilling out. We're good. Really smart with the kills. Bullrack, Soup Slurper with the assists. Scrolls for Adam and Raven. Urberk, like really smart, and the Superfly. This one looks like it's going to be a little bit harder. Let's get them. All right, I think we can play the first round with this, and then I'll take a little break and maybe get some lunch going. And I can pause the YouTube recording now, so they don't have to sit here and wait for 30 minutes. Or more like 3, but you know what I mean. There's some leftover pasta and stir fry. Probably going for that. Okay, we can do something with this, although it's a little nerve-wracking. I'm going to send back the Stalker, as we've at least got creatures we can play on 3 with just base green. And the Glacial Grasp cantripping may help me develop, assuming we can hit a blue. And we should be able to hit a blue, because there's more blue sources than anything else in the deck. Yeah, like that into Visionary, and we're mostly recovered from the mulligan. I think we Glacial Grasp end of turn and then consider an attack here. Kind of sucks to miss a land drop, but that's okay. It's a good target for the Glacial Grasp. And the attack's not looking quite as good now. Although reasonable adjacent. That's going to have to be gang blocked eventually. It's not crazy to consider using a Rabid Bite in the future, and we'll probably have to double block that with a Gnarlrid Colony and something else. Hey, Glacial Grasp was my preview card. I'm not against Glacial Grasp. It's a little awkward unless I can hit another land here. Because I kind of want to kill that before I start attacking. Because it will grow into something significant. I'm a little nervous about double blocking this guy. I'm not so nervous about double blocking that one with the 2 Visionaries. So I think we hit for 3 here and then consider our blocks on the way back. Hey, Dave with the gift skins and Stream Raiders. Thank you very much. I'm going to keep track of those again this month, even though we're not really doing a big push, because I thought people might just be interested in it. But thank you very much, Fasty Dave. I appreciate that. Not attacking here indicates that they do have a combat trick, so I think I'm just going to take that. I'm going to be in a position where I have to double block now, so let's at least get some value and consider some big block energy. I think I'd rather have the Grasp back at this point. I'm not going to play a land out because I'm a little nervous about a Mind Rot. Not super nervous, but a little nervous. We're going to pretty happily double block now. It's like the rest of this board is kind of covered. And I can start playing these out. We're going to get to draw a card. I think we've got our value. Yeah, we expected there would be one combat trick, and that's functionally a combat trick. Sharix can give us a decent blocker and sort of threaten to eat something when it attacks. I kind of need 2 things in play, though. Toke, thank you for the Prime sub. Y'all spam some cats for Toke and Fasty Dave. If you'd like to spam new cats, you can spam this one. Thank you very much. What's my best line here? I can get a 4/4 and still grasp something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. No, I can't. Yeah, we're sad not to have the land in play from last turn, which is weird. That probably means I need to crab and play this out as a 2/2. And just accept that next turn is going to be some blocking, and that's okay. That's rough. That's real rough. That was a good draw for them. All right, well, I clearly can't take the 7, so I think my best bet is to do this. That puts me at 4, which is pretty scary. And that's not a bad top deck. All right, so we're going to need to trade here. Tap that, presumably, when they go to combat. Which means I really can't play this out. I can block this or that. I don't think I can wait on this. I may just need a 2-1 in play. The sub did go through, Toke. You got it. We spammed some cats for you. Spam more if you like. Thank you very much for the Prime sub. That's 2 years of Prime sub. If you tap the rogue, upgrades. Huh? Oh, if I tap the rogue upgrades. Sure, but oh, then we're just kind of dead here. That's not going to work. That means I actually have to get a card back. Yeah, not playing that land the previous turn really hurt me. That is a flat cat. Yeah, with the menace here, I don't think I can actually do anything other than this. You've got to stop hitting amazing top decks. All right, I can at least Rabid Bite this. And plan on Glacial Grasping that. I don't exactly know what the plan is from here. But we're going to have to try to figure it out. Well, okay. It's quality animation is what's going on there. That one was tough. It's more of a pink cube. All right, so they've got a significant amount of reach in this deck. Because we're going to take damage, presumably off of this, off of this, off of this, off of this. We've seen a bazillion Blood Priests. This is a pretty good black-red party deck, and I don't really have interaction. I'm going to have to block early and often, which means I probably need something like this. And I probably don't need Stalkers to win the game. I just need to stay alive. I guess I could play this Zoff Consumption over a swamp. If I already have the other two swamps, it's something. I don't think we're giving up any synergy. Royal Mage too slow? A 2-drop is never too slow. Remember, the Royal Mage is a piker. It can at least block their 2/1s. We're not giving up anything by splashing it except for good mana. But like, if I have 3 Royal Mages and literally nothing to get back with them, that's kind of a problem. Thank you, Drew. It was quite an experience. Normally, I don't splash for something like a Deadly Alliance, but we have realistically no removal in this deck, which means I kind of have to. There's that Geopede. It's presumably the same one we passed, and you can kind of see how good the thing is here. We're taking 4. Yikes. Removal's good. I wish we had some. We do have a tap land, so we should play this first. I'm not going to worry about the Mind Rot anymore. Because trying to play around it last time got me. I think I'm mostly interested in blockers. These lands are really great. I like them. There we go. Didn't see the Mind Drain last game, so we don't play around it, and it gets us here. Seems about right. I think we kind of deserve that. Well, yeah, the situation is we play around it in the first game and lose because we did. Don't play around it in the second game. And I'm not saying that being able to cast a Divner would have done much here. We'd still be taking the damage. But I also don't think we have much of a shot against this game because we just don't have the interaction. We're going to lose to this, and I think Deadly Alliance is the only draw I could have that would actually get it. But like that's why you got to prioritize the removal, and I kind of didn't here. That said, we've got beautiful lands while all of this is happening. Hey, we can buy back, yeah. Yeah. You can see the problem here. I suspect they did too. But it's okay. I've missed lethal before too. The deck was not kind, but the deck isn't really capable of being kind. I used an example one time when I was in sales. The sales manager had hired someone to do sales, and that person very obviously could not do sales. And when he did the interview, I told him that. And at the 2-week evaluation, I told him that. And then 3 months later, when he asked me if he should fire this person, I sent him, he's like, I think X person isn't actually good at sales. What should I do? Because I really like them. And I sent him a message that I didn't get mad at Dutch when he threw up on the carpet because he's a cat and that's what cats do. But I wouldn't hire him to be a salesperson, even though he's a wonderful cat. This deck isn't, and what I mean is that person was not capable of doing sales. It doesn't mean that they're a bad person. They just did not have the ability to do that job. And this deck doesn't really have the ability to interact. It's either going to do its thing and get card advantage and win, or it's not. The draws are never going to be good when somebody's trying to kill me with pikers. It's a deck full of 3/2s. So I'm not mad at the deck for that. It's a cat. It's going to throw up on the carpet every once in a while. Hey, what's up, old man? I did have a good rest day. It wasn't actually that bad. What's up, Thunder Dan? Yeah. Little bit closer to the skin these days. That was our goal for hitting 800 subscribers and or Stream Raider sales in November, was that Simwife would give me a buzz. There's good cards in this hand. What happened to this deck? You're welcome to give them away in chat. Can mods do giveaways? Good grief. What are the codes for? Because card styles are cool. What's up, Band Geek? Is there a world where I play out the Swarm here? I don't think so. I think I'm supposed to kill the bug catcher and maybe play it out next turn, but I'd really like to hit that 6th land with it. Dude, congratulations. Okay, so we're just going on a race here, it looks like. That's interesting. Well, now I have something I'm planning on doing next turn. But we are going to play out the Shoot Swarm this turn. I probably should have attacked with that too, now that I think about it. I could have taken it now. But I don't think the problem's actually the healer as much as it is the equipment. I guess I'm just used to this costing 6. It didn't occur to me. Yeah, I'll still have blockers on the ground. I'm going to have to try to race them. That's all I got. Because they can just move the equipment around, and this is just as much of a problem. Yeah, feel free to give away codes in chat. That's a lot of damage. This deck may just be bad. Swamp wouldn't be bad here. But all I can do is try to race this. Pack Beast for fixing. Huh. This is much more aggressive than what I remember seeing people play, but it's working. Yeah, if John's going to give away codes in chat, type in chat when you got it so that he can know when to give out more. Yeah, this deck is pretty rough against very aggressive stuff because I want to trade early and I can't. So I think, again, we're going to have to try to do something like this and kind of cross our fingers. Again, the Zoff consumption looks better than a Swamp. Well, it doesn't look better because this art is gorgeous, but I think it might play better. We have to assume there's core Blade Masters in that deck. I don't think I would assume that they have a specific uncommon. They might. Well, there's a problem with 0 power creatures and blocking being your plan, and it's that they do prevent some amount of damage, but because they're not trading with anything, they're not disabling any of your opponent's attacks. And that can sometimes be an issue. I think we're supposed to try to trade this with whatever we can. Ideally, we can rabid bite it after they've played the equipment. They put up, hey, what's up, possums? The codes for the Bob Ross lands are in my Discord. This is good news for us. I think we're pretty happy to have that trade made. These just have to be 2-1s for us now, but... The Mana Leak is giving out codes for collected company cosmetics that he got for raising $1 bazillion for extra life. I don't think I would use it, John. But if you, heck, send me one on Twitter. I'll use it. Why not? Maybe we draft Amonkhet Remastered again one day and we can open it. And it's a Johnny code. Yeah, they're 1 use per person. Just looking for good blockers here. It's also nice to have a 3-power creature for the bite. Okay, I'll take a free card. If they don't have a combat trick, it'd be pretty brutal here. I don't think I'm recovering from a combat trick here, so I don't need to worry about one. I know I'm playing this and grasping, but I'm still going to get my card. Consider Charix next turn, but I think Grasp is going to be pretty good here. Yeah, I'll take a little bit of damage if you'd like to give me a free card next turn. I'm tapping that so I don't have to, so I can trade off the rogue if they attack, and I can still connect and draw a card. It also gives him virtually no attacks here. This crab is lethal. I think I'm supposed to swing team here. Well, it's lethal assuming something else gets through, so they kind of have to chump it. Okay. That's how you lose? You don't want to lose to a flying aura? Dude, it's only gonna... I have 4 ground blockers. Okay, so if I pump this twice, it still trades for that, right? Because -4... Or, yeah, -4, -4 still leaves this plenty. I don't know how I'm losing to no board from them. I have 11 life. Like, I think it's important when the game's over to shut the door. They would need to have Scavenged Blade and Kite Sail to get me. And even that's just 9. Not attacking doesn't stop it. Renan's case was kill the Colossus. It wasn't about whether you attack or not. It's about whether you kill the Colossus. So that's the question. I just think I'd like to get in the extra damage there. His play was safer, but I think at 11, there's not really much that's going to do anything to me. Maybe I'm being overly aggressive. I don't know. Let's do our Stream Raiders battle. Like, my brain has still not fully recovered from the 24-hour stream, so mistakes may happen. And it's okay. There's really no mistakes, just happy little accidents. There's a dinosaur in that egg. That's scary. All right, we've got Golden Burb with the kills, Falco with the assists, gold for Bluff, Falco, scrolls for Dis, Rhino, and Toke. I'll get the goodies later, since we're YouTubing. Remember, the people you place in purple will just stand there. We can kind of build tanks and survive. Yeah, just happy little accidents. Nothing to worry about. I think we've got this set where we want it. I really wish I could get a Subtle Strike in here, but I don't think I can mess up the mana that much. I mean, I certainly can. It's a rough opener, but it's got 2 drops. They put me on the play? Okay. Sorry, I've got the Baron's music stuck in my head for some reason. Free drop wizard, go go. Thank you. This works. We were made to trade. Good morning, Skelinate. That sucks. I'm somewhat less excited about my trading possibilities. Yeah, I think you're supposed to kill the ice blocks before the bad things come out of them. I think I'm supposed to still attack here. Yeah, it started yesterday right after I got off streaming. My head does feel a lot lighter. Do I need another forest right now? Wish I could draw first. That's not a bad hit, though. Yeah, it was surprising to me how much gray hair there was hiding under there as well. It's a lot more noticeable when your hair's really short than when there's a lot of stuff to cover it up, but maybe I'm distinguished. I'd have to pay 7 to get that? That's not realistically going to happen, but they do have a lot of artifacts, which is interesting to me. I think I want to hold up Grasp here, because the Infiltrator doesn't really have attacks on its own. But we can hold up Grasp / Alliance and then grab an equipment when they play one. That may be better than the Infiltrator here. I think it probably is. I don't think we're looking to lull mage this turn. Need that in play just yet. I think we'll just leave up Deadly Alliance and continue poking away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I would need 2 more lands to steal their Colossus. I don't think that's the way. I think that I might like to borrow. Or drop right. There's a possibility they've got this sacrifice thingy, but it would appear that that is not the case. I think we're more interested in trying to get their Uh, equipments if we can. I don't know what they have here. It might be a Wrath for all I know. But even a team pump, if they've got another +1/+1, I still got them, right? Yeah. I guess they could have 2 unities, but... really not the worst thing I've ever seen. I can Deadly Alliance that, Rabid Bite this, and we're kind of fine, right? We could also attack for 4, 8, 9, 10. I'm 1 point short of lethal. Right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'm 1 land off from just killing them. And 1 more land from stealing the Colossus, which is interesting. So I think I like Snarecaster and Deadly Alliance this turn. They do have lifelink on this, which is worth remembering. Is there some argument to... Yeah, I think there is some argument to killing that this turn. I should have done that before I played the land, but it's okay. I don't think I want the Scoot Swarm right now, because this game is basically locked up. I'm not even going to bother looting on this, because I know I want to save the flyer. Because I think the only thing that actually gets them out of this is an equipment. They have to block this now, right? So this is just eating something. I still feel like an equipment is the only thing that really turns things in their favor. We've seen a bunch of them, so I may as well hold the thing that can take care of equipments. All right, I'm going to take a short break. For YouTube, nothing at all will happen, which is great. I'm going to pause YouTube now. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube. We are preparing for the last round of this, so hopefully we can get a 2-1 here. But the 24-hour stream, it wasn't that bad recovery-wise. As soon as I finished, I basically slept from, I think, 10 to about 3. And then I got up, did a little bit of housework. When Sim wife got home, we spent the evening together and went to bed. I think we went to bed around 10. And then I slept from 10 to, I think, 7:30. And I feel mostly back on my normal schedule right now. I also used that happy light to kind of fool myself into thinking it was a different time than it was, and it worked. All right, but back into the games. This is probably one of the better starts we've had with this deck. It was not a trade I'm particularly excited about, but we'll get it done. Like, I respect that card. I think the first one of these is just supposed to be a 2-1, because they're going to play a 3-2 this turn, or at least likely to. And I shouldn't need the value from it, because I've got a lot of looting coming through from this wizard, potentially. This is probably setting me up to want to just tap that on their turn. Just want to prevent the damage and eventually get to some inevitability. Like this. Also, I don't have to worry about hair ties anymore. It's kind of cool. I think at this point we just try to like block long enough to be able to play the swarm and get the copy of it. It's not as bad as I thought it would be. I mean, it's different. I'm used to having at least medium length hair. Wow. That is the best I have ever seen that card be. That was pretty freaking terrifying. We may just be dead. Yeah, I kind of think we're dead. So in that case, playing this out this turn is kind of fine because I think I'm going to need all of my mana next turn. They've got a bug catcher and I've got a bug. Like, I don't really expect that to end well for us. Like, I think you can probably assume that that's going to be bad. Because I'm pretty sure we just dead here. If I'd known that was coming, we'd have gotten one more chump blocker here, but I think I was kind of depending on drawing something actually reasonable. If I do this and this, that leaves me taking 1, 2, 3, 4, which is terrifying, but really all I've got. I still have no idea what I can draw to get out of this. Nothing, it would seem. And these Bob Ross lands are neat, but I don't want to draw that many of them. But again, I think I want the Survivor over one of the Stalkers. All three of the matchups we've played today have been against very aggressive decks. There are a lot of numbers that aren't 0. That's fair. It's tough because I thought we were black for so long. There's value in here, but... Well, that sucks. I think I could consider keeping that on the draw, but not here. This will probably work. There's no way to shuffle these back in, but I don't think I can keep the Alliance here. I'm not super likely to draw the black mana, and this hand needs some real help to get there. It's kind of a brutal mulligan anyway. Not much of their stuff interacted favorably with a 2-1, but I think I still need it. Hey, nice. Something I can trade with. Can we hit like 2 lands in a row pulls? No, we cannot. And this makes me sad. Not a whole lot we can do about this. I think the first hand was a pretty clear mulligan on the play, and I think this one was a keep. That's a pretty good start from them, don't you think? Yeah, now they're ready to trade. All right, so what's our path to victory from here? I don't know that there is one. I would kind of need the Death Toucher. So suppose in that case, I want to play this to block here, take another 5, plan on playing this and looting into the Death Toucher and then being able to play it. That's still a pretty big ask. And I don't think it's going to work here. What's up, nobody? Because now we're looking at just double chumping. I guess I could still draw the Death Toucher and a Rabid Bite. The Snare, well, the Infiltrator is not what we need here. Because we're going to have to double chump now. And we're not going to be able to. So sometimes you keep a 2-lander and you don't quite get there. Ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, thank you for tuning in to watch this on YouTube. If you'd like to watch the draft live, you can do so at www.twitch.tv/Semulin. You can watch me draft mediocre decks and lose to aggro all day long if that is your jam. We'll see you next time for another video. Chat, say goodbye to YouTube.